everybody. This is Swarn Jha, and welcome to the Blessed Girl podcast. So today we have a very special guest joining us from US, California. So she is actually one of the amazing runners which I have come across. And the beauty about everything is that she is a vegan and she has been practicing this plant-based, life-changing philosophy for almost, I would say, 8 years or more rather. And she is at this moment glowing with the new life which is present in her, and she's expecting, and she has already done it in the past. So that is one of the most beautiful journey we would love to hear from her. Her name is Aisha Corning. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you.
Hi. Thank you, Aisha, for giving your time, and I'm really glad that we are connecting today. So, to begin with, I would love to know that what exactly connected with you the most when it comes to choosing vegan lifestyle, and was it first vegan and then running, or it was running and then veganism?
Veganism, then running. And they kind of came around the same time. I wanted to be healthier in general. And I think, well, so because first I was vegetarian, I found out, how animals were treated. And I was like, oh, no way, I don't want to be a part of that. And then somebody said, well, do you know how dairy and cheese comes about? And I was like, oh no. So I had to research that. And sure enough, I did not agree with the practices. So then I was like, no, I have to commit to veganism. It doesn't align with my values. And then I was also trying to just be healthier because, especially when I first went vegan, I started researching a lot on diet and our body and, just like inflammation, all these things that I didn't really pay attention before. And now it's like this whole new world opened up of you can be vegan for animals, but it also benefits your body and the earth and water conservation. And so, I was just like, yep, this is going to be my lifestyle now because, I just can't be a part of, destroying the earth and causing suffering. And then also to my body, I want to be as healthy as I can. But of course, I still like to eat. And now there's a ton of vegan goodies. So I'm not really missing out.
You're not missing on something. Yeah, absolutely. Great. So I would love to know that to begin with, how did it start with vegetarian first? Because you are someone who is living in the eastern side of the world, and the western side of the world, and it's most of the times, the most of the holidays, it's all about turkey and various kind of food. So how did you manage to sustain and begin with it?
So I was in college at the time, and I was dating a guy who was vegetarian, and he told me, you should look into how the animals come to your plate. And I was like, oh, no. I'm Mexican American, so both Mexican and American cultures are very, meat and dairy based. And I was raised eating meat. I was raised, drinking cow milk, and it was just normal, So I was just like, at first I was like, no, everything's fine, It wouldn't have it wouldn't be allowed if it were bad, right? But sure enough, I did a little research because he planted that seed, and then I was like, oh. Okay, yeah, I can't I can't do this, these animals are suffering in cages. I can't be a part of that. And it was easy also because, his mom was Indian from Gujarat, and so he was raised vegetarian. So it was pretty easy to we lived together. We got married, so it was pretty easy to just be vegetarian along with my partner at the time. And
Mm.
but we did do cheese and dairy. Like I didn't know about that side of it. I thought, great, I don't eat meat, I'm good.
Yeah.
And for the
So how did
longest
that
time,
happen? What did you see and what did you come across about the vegan part? Then, it just
well,
clicked.
so sure enough, at some point I come across another vegan. Because at the time I was vegetarian, I thought, oh, I'm doing my part, I'm good.
Yeah.
Veganism is extreme. Like, no way. How are you not going to do any animal products? Because again, like I was raised to think that it's normal and it's part of your just normal diet. I mean, in the
Mm.
US, I think still it's part of the pyramid,
Yeah.
nutritional pyramid,
Yeah.
So it was really ingrained in me that okay, if you don't want to eat animals, that's fine, but you still have to have some animal protein, right? Like through cheese and milk. So anyways,
Yeah.
I come across a vegan and he's like, you should look into the dairy industry because that's not what you think it is. Same way, like I wasn't pushed in a way of shaming or anything like that. They were just like, you might want to look into it. And sure enough, I did. And I didn't like it. So then I committed
Mm.
to no dairy, which at that point I wasn't really drinking much milk or cheese, but still, is because then it goes into, some products will have a little bit of milk. I don't know about, here in the US, it's like you don't need to add milk, but
Yeah.
they will just add it. And I
Yeah.
heard that
Same here.
sometimes,
It is there.
yeah,
Yeah. It is
yeah.
very
And
funny. Yeah.
here in the US, it's subsidized. So I heard, I don't know, some commerce person say, you have to use it because it's so subsidized. It's almost them not to. It's almost like you get paid to use it. So if you add it to your product, you get subsidies from the government.
Got it.
So
Yeah.
anyways, that's a whole nother story.
Good
but
story. Yeah.
but
Absolutely.
by committing, then I'm also, because I love sweets, I love pastries. So I was like, okay. That
So
means,
how was that? How did you handle that? Because you were a fan of sweets and everything. So how did you handle that kind of a situation? Was it really a little challenge at the beginning? Like you were like a vegan 90% or 70%, or you just went all out? How was
I
it,
think
the transition?
2013 was kind of the transition. Like towards the end of 2013, I was fully vegan. But yes, I think like the first 6 months was definitely a transition where
Mm.
some sweets like chocolate and baked goods were hard. But what I did, I started cooking myself. Like I wasn't really much of a cook. And then I just went online and said, how do I make this vegan? And it was so easy. Like I thought it was going to be complicated. And usually it was just like switching to a soy milk or an almond milk, or instead of eggs, like, the applesauce or flax seeds. So, now when I see something that I like, and if I can't find a vegan, I can make it vegan. Like it's not, if you just do those
Yeah.
couple of switches, you can make it at home.
Yeah. Yeah. You
And
can find your tweak. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, wonderful. So, would love to know that how was your reaction from the entire family and the social circle? How did you handle your social circle? And sometimes even naysayers, people like who really feel that you're doing wrong, or something like on a spiritual level because you're a Christian as well. I mean, are you a Christian? I'm sorry, I didn't
no.
even know. You are not. Okay.
I'm
So, how
spiritual,
was
I'm
in
not
your
religious.
religion? Okay, great. So, I mean, how was it on these levels at home and the
um,
family wise?
with friends, I think it wasn't too bad because I learned pretty quickly to eat before I go to a party, so I'm not getting there hungry. Um,
Hmm.
or I would bring something to share that I can eat.
Hmm.
If we went out, I would either research the menu before if I could, or try to come
Yeah.
up with some modification, which usually is possible, or like with side items.
Hmm.
So it wasn't too bad. I also didn't make it about me when going out. Like, um,
Yeah.
I would, if friends wanted to get together and we were trying to decide, maybe I would throw a few suggestions that I knew I could have options. Um,
Hmm.
you know, I just try to be as flexible as possible. Also, I would usually
Hmm.
carry some sort of snack, to be honest, in case
Yeah.
like
Of
something came up,
course.
like after work, and I would, I could have
Hmm.
something. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, so it wasn't too bad. My parents, my mom at the time she's been vegetarian for a long time, so she was just kind of like, okay, I'm sure you'll figure it out. It's fine. My dad on the other
Hmm.
side, he did not like it. He still to this day sometimes will argue with me about veganism. Um,
Hmm.
but of course, it's also, you know, I'm pretty healthy. I do my blood work every year just to be on the safe side. There are some health
Yeah.
things
Concerns
in
or
my
anything. Yeah.
family history. So just to be safe, and my blood work always comes out perfect, like always within the levels that I need to be, and
Hmm.
like cholesterol and lipids and all that. And
Yeah.
the thing is too, like in Mexico and the US, like obesity and heart disease are always like number one and two countries. So like
Absolutely.
we're
Yeah.
obviously doing something wrong. And the
Yeah.
more and more you research about veganism, it's like it really is the healthier thing to
Yeah.
do, or at least like reduce your meat consumption.
Yeah.
But that those are the kind of things that I argue with my dad, because he was also raised to think that meat is part of your diet, and if you
Hmm.
don't eat it, then you can't possibly be healthy or build muscle. And it's like, no, like it's about the
Yeah.
protein, not the animal, right? So
Absolutely. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Good. So, have you been able to, transform many friends or people around you into be vegan? How many friends, if you would like to share their story, how is it being for you so far?
I've had friends that tell me, they've become vegan because of me, which always I feel like, yay, I'm always so
Absolutely.
happy.
Yeah.
Sometimes they commit, sometimes they go on and off, or sometimes I have a coworker that is Christian or Catholic, I'm not sure. And
Hmm.
usually she does this thing called a Daniel fast. I don't know if you heard of it. So I don't
No.
know if it's 21
What
days or
is,
40 days. That's pretty much like a
okay.
vegan diet. Um,
Okay.
and, she'll come to me like, oh, give me some recipes, or, what do you think about this or that? Um, so that I always feel pretty honored, because
Yeah. It's
it's
happening.
like I'm not pushing for people to
Yeah.
go vegan. I mean, obviously on my
Yeah.
Instagram, I do post funny things or some facts. But
Yeah.
Instagram is
Even your
like you can follow
Strava.
me. Yeah, and my Strava too. It's like you can follow me or unfollow me. Like I'm not forcing you to,
Yeah.
watch my vegan journey.
Yeah. Absolutely. And
I
how
don't
about
know
your
the count.
kids? Sure. But I'm sure it is growing because you can see on your Instagram you have a good follow. So yeah. So I'm sure people are following and people is acknowledging that it is something very very wonderful to be able to sustain for longer run and which will
Well,
stay with you.
I think it's just important to show that, like I am not I'm not a famous rich person. Like I'm just a regular person, going
Yeah.
to work, having a family, and like I do it. So if you want to, you could do it too if you want.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think that's what well, sometimes people relate to, because it is about you sharing your journey just authentically, and if if it works for you, why not? That is something very nice. So would love to know that, as a person, from the time you started being vegan to at this moment, what are the fundamental changes which you have really experienced, and you feel that it would haven't been possible if you would have been a non-vegan?
Um, I think in general, like my health is pretty good.
Mm.
My weight has been more stable. Um, I think my running is also steady because I don't have the extra inflammation. I'm not sure, because I started running after I went vegan. I don't really have like a comparison to before.
Yeah.
But I in general, I just feel pretty healthy. And I
Yeah.
also feel, like because of my values and I'm kind of living by my values, I feel kind of
Mm.
at peace. And
Yeah.
also, I think by being vegan and just kind of researching here and there, I'm a little bit more open to things, like composting, and like I switched my shampoo to like a bar shampoo instead of, so I use less plastic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just little switches that I can make. I think I'm more open
Yeah.
to those because I've been able to be vegan for a while. So it's like, if I was able to change my mindset from how I was raised,
Yeah.
then other little things that come up, little improvements that I can make to help
Yeah.
reduce pollution or reduce water consumption, I will try it.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I think that's the most important thing which is right now happening, because it's the entire, I think the planet needs it, needs more people
Yeah.
who are actually in this process, who can support and take more initiative on that line. So, do you feel any struggle when it comes to composting, because you are in a completely a different kind of a weather? Because usually I see composting is more of hot place or little humid place thing, is what I understand. Have you ever challenged that?
I think, I mean, I'm not sure. I've never composted in a hot, humid place. I think it.
No.
I
So
think
I
it
mean,
might take
just
longer,
to
but
say India, yeah. I mean, for India, it's like right now it's 28. So it's completely hot. We need fan or AC something. So I mean, I would love to know how is it for California in that sense.
I mean, it gets hot in the summer here, and it doesn't get
Hmm.
super cold. Like I'm not in a snowy area,
Got it.
so I think when it's cold, it does take longer to compost. But we're lucky that
Hmm.
we have a backyard, and
Hmm.
it just my husband
Yeah.
like churns it for me, and it just kind of takes care of itself. Like,
Yeah, absolutely. You don't have to do much actually in composting.
yeah,
You just have to take care of the kitchen waste is not thrown.
yeah.
Wonderful. So, is your family as well vegan, like your son, your husband? Everyone is completely into it, or how is it? Is it on
Yes,
and
my
off?
son has never had any meat or dairy, and he is, healthy. He's always been in the 90th plus percentile of height and weight. Um,
Hmm.
so like not, like overweight, but like, he's tall. And
Yeah.
um, my husband refuses to take on the label of vegan, but he is following the lifestyle.
Got it.
Um, he also has some family history, like medical history. So he just one day told me, he's like, you know what, I think I'm going to commit because I want to
Hmm.
live a healthy lifestyle. And, because I told him once too, like, look, you're a father now. You can't, run around like there's no worries in the world. You have two people to take
Yeah,
care of now.
absolutely.
We're a family, we're a team.
Yeah.
Um, So, and we cook a lot of our food, so it's not really hard. Um,
Hmm.
yeah. So, yeah.
Great, wonderful. So I would love to know that since you were, your first pregnancy as well was a vegan, and since you are at this moment as well following it completely. So what are the like? How would you like to share your ideal day, as in being a mother or being in this journey? How is it your ideal day of diet, and when it comes to food, how do you snack and everything, so that our female listeners who may be interested in taking it up can understand how can it be done.
Sure. So usually, now that I'm pregnant, I usually will eat a fruit, like usually a banana. When
Hmm.
I wake up, drink some water, do a little bit of work now that we're in COVID times. I work from home
Yeah.
for a couple hours. Um, Once my son wakes up, I usually have him eat either some oatmeal with some nuts, either almonds or cashews. Um, what's that other one? I don't know. We try to switch it up so we don't get tired of the nuts,
Yeah.
and either
Yeah.
raisins or cranberries, or I like to put blueberries to not eat too much sugar, because like raisins have quite a bit of sugar.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
my son, it's fine. Or cream of wheat sometimes. We'll
Hmm.
add a little quinoa.
Hmm.
So some mix of that, which
Hmm.
I will eat usually after I run or bike or do some sort of workout. Um,
Yeah.
and then also we do a smoothie with a
Hmm.
protein powder,
Hmm.
and
Any
some.
particular powder you recommend?
Well, here
Any
we have
plant
a
based?
store called Sprouts, and they have their own vegan protein. I've tried
Okay.
other ones, like I don't know if you guys have like Trader Joe's and Sprouts, and
Sure. Sprouts is definitely an option, definitely. So yeah, that is something can be taken up. But yeah, I mean, I was just trying to know, maybe it can help to our listeners if they want to
yeah,
check online and get that. Sure.
yeah. I mean,
So
honestly,
yeah,
we've come a long way. Like from when I went vegan, there was just like a couple of options, and now there's like, if you go to the store, I always see several options, and then even new brands will come up. Um,
yeah,
So, I usually like our smoothie will have, at least, a scoop per person, because that's about 20 grams, and then some green, either broccoli or spinach, and then fruit. So it's
yeah,
tasty.
yeah.
So that's kind of
Nice.
like our breakfast mid morning snack.
Yeah,
For lunch, we'll usually do, another veggie, rice. Sometimes we'll use, those like fake meats or like soya meats.
yeah.
Um,
Mock meats, any of them. Yep.
yeah. Or, again, more grains, more nuts,
Hmm.
tofu.
Hmm.
I love tofu, and, so far no complaints on the tofu in this house. So, um,
Nice. How about tempeh? Do you like it, or
I
how's it? Have you
do.
developed a taste? Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much like all, the alternatives I've tried, I find them good. And if not, you can always season them to your liking.
Yeah.
For dinner, I try to do a salad. I don't always do a salad, just to get
Hmm.
more greens. And again, just throw in the vegetables. And I've also made my own dressings to make them not so high, like in calories. And they're not that hard.
Hmm.
Like I found out a year, 2 years ago, they're not that hard to make. Especially, if you
Hmm.
want to do like tahini with some apple cider vinegar, and then you add some spices, and it adds like a nice creamy flavor to
Yeah.
your
Salad.
salad.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Nice. That's actually good. So, how about like impromptu snacking? What are your options, or what are your go-to for impromptu snacking?
So if I'm out and about and I didn't bring anything, I have to go to the store. There's usually some protein bar or kind bars, which are also like nut based.
Yeah.
If I'm craving something sweet, usually like a dried fruit. I love
Yeah.
dried mango. That's like my favorite.
Mm.
And then sometimes if you add a little chili to it, it's perfect.
Wow.
um, what else? Fruit. I mean, always, apples, bananas are always great.
Yeah.
Tangerines when they're in season, I love them. It's just usually for me, I try to grab a fruit first, too.
Mm.
And then if I'm so, because sometimes it's like, it's not really hunger, it's just a craving.
Yeah.
Right?
You
So,
just want to you just want to chew. You want to just try something. You want to eat.
yeah.
Not you're not hungry at all. Yeah, absolutely. So do you feel that there is a difference in that ratio of snacking, the habit of unnecessarily eating? Have you felt that as a vegan? Like too
I
much
think
of
at first,
attachment to food.
because my metabolism was used to kind of digesting for longer. I feel like at first I would digest really quickly.
Mm.
So I would snack more, especially the first year or two. And then
Mm.
slowly it's kind of, I mean, I still snack, but not as much. And I've
Yeah.
switched up some
Move.
of my snacks, just to not eat as many calories, because sometimes, of course the raisins are delicious, but like, you don't want to
Yeah.
overdo your sugars. And
Absolutely.
so,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's very good. Great. So, how about your vitamins? How do you take care of, especially the B12 and the iron or vitamin C or D? These are the three, four, most of the times we end up in challenge when we go vegan. So, what do you have to say about that?
So right now I'm taking prenatals, and they have vitamin B and D and all the good stuff that I need. When I'm not pregnant, I do take usually a multivitamin, or I always have the B complex
Hmm.
vitamins, and the separately usually. So like if I don't take a multivitamin, I'll for sure take a B and a D, because also I don't know. A friend that's a nutritionist told me that most people are deficient in vitamin D anyway. So
Hmm.
it's good to take, I feel like she told me like up to 5,000 or something like that. I don't know. I
Okay.
don't remember. But, I do take those. There's a company,
Hmm.
I think the people that started No Meat Athlete, I don't know if you've heard of them.
Mm-hmm.
They have
Yeah.
a vitamin company that has, B, D, and I think, what are the good oils called? Like omegas, but they're vegan
Yeah.
omegas.
The
So I
kind of a
take
fish
those.
oil you were referring to, the fish oil which they usually have in fish, is that what they tell? But I don't think it is true because I mean
Yeah.
I'm not
So
sure
this is
about
like a
that.
vegan version. I think they get it from like algae, like seaweed and stuff
Okay.
like that. Yeah.
Got it, got it. I think it is covered in Caesar piracy as well, which recently came up. I don't know you have seen it or not, but I think it is covered in that it is olive, the oil is actually vegan and it is made of these algae from the water. I'm
Hmm.
not very sure about the name, but yeah, I just saw it yesterday, so that's why I brought it. Great. So I would love to know that this entire journey of you being a runner and being vegan and taking care of your family. So what is your plan of taking it up to next level? Do you plan to do like a Ironman or getting into triathlete or something?
Did my husband reach out to you to ask you this? Yeah, so I've done marathons. The
Yeah.
last marathon I ran, I did a 4:37 um, time, and when I come back from maternity leave, I want to do under 4:30. So that's my first goal when I come back.
Yeah.
um, My husband is an Ironman.
So you already have a coach, so you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, so and also I have another good friend that I run with when it's not COVID times, and she's done several Ironmans as well, and they've both kind of said, you could do one,
Yeah.
So maybe I would not.
Okay.
I'm not gonna say that I'm never gonna do it
Yeah.
because
But
I used
yeah,
to say I'm never
it
gonna do a
might be in your
marathon.
list. Yeah,
But
I
I
get
might.
it.
It's just
Good.
that's also why I want to get over my bike. But like I can bike on a trainer, but when I get out, I just get so nervous with like cars and people, and so once I get over
Yeah.
that, then I think it'll be on the table for sure. Yeah.
Wow, good. I mean, all the best, very best. I'm sure I'm going to see some, updates on Strava. So we'll be definitely following on that. Yeah. So would love to know about when this all thing you have sorted on the lines of growing your son into sports. How do you take care of that at this moment, and how you are taking care of ensuring that he's active? And especially because kids are at this moment, I think they are frozen to laptops and phone because of their
Yeah.
classes as well going online. So it's a little challenging time for females, especially mothers, to take care of their kids. So how do you take care of that?
I think as far as I've seen and from the parenting stuff that I've read, it's very like I feel like parenting is very based on modeling, right? Like kids are not going to do what I say they should do. They're going to do what I do and what they see me and my husband do. And he sees us, I used to have a running streak, which I was so sad to let go of. My husband's still keeping up his running streak. I think he's past 2 years now that he's been running every day. He sees my husband bike. He sees me working out in the living room in the trainer. He sees me go out for a run. And we try to go hiking on the weekends. We have a little trampoline for him outside for when we just don't feel like going out, but he can do something here. He seems to like running. He's pretty fast. We ran a mile together one time, and I think he did I think it was right under 14-minute mile, and I'm like, dude, you're little. He's 4. He's like half my size, and he's running a 14-minute mile. So I'm like, I think you'll be all right.
Yeah, absolutely. That's actually incredible. Yeah. So you don't worry about that part. I think that something will pick up on that.
Yeah, and
Great.
we
Awesome.
play around. We try to stay active. We'll play soccer in the backyard sometimes, throw balls.
Yeah.
So
it's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. Lovely. It's lovely. So do you have any advice for our listeners who are moms, especially, or fathers who have a kid? So how to engage them in the sports, or what do you feel about that? Because sometimes it's really hard to bring them to, play with you or do something, leaving the
Absolutely.
laptop or something. So yeah, I would love to know about that.
I really think it starts with us. I think we can't make a person change if we can't change ourselves, right? So if we have to first look at ourselves, are we me as a mom, am I being active? Am I taking care of my body? Because again, I think our kids see what we do, and then they want to join. If it's if you're consistently going out for a run or doing weights at home, I do weights at home too, and my son, I have different size weights. My son will grab the little ones, and he'll be like, "Look, Mom, I'm working out," and I'm like, "Okay." And then I try to just make sure he has a good posture so he doesn't get injured. I make sure that the weight is not too heavy, and I'm right there with him. So I think also that, right, if when he shows interest in something, I try to encourage it, and I'll be there with him.
Instead
so
of
he
just
also feels
putting him
supported.
aside. Yeah,
Yes.
I mean, exactly.
Yeah, so I think that like just as long as you take care of yourself and your kids see you doing it, like, and even if you think they're not watching, I feel like kids are always watching. you know,
Yeah,
they're very good at
absolutely.
observing.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. Great. So I would love to know one book you would love to go back to. Any book you feel that it is one book that, it is you must read kind of a thing.
About veganism,
Anything, veganism or motherhood or composting, anything which you love, to do. So would love to know
whew,
about that.
there's so many
Running.
books.
Yeah,
um,
absolutely.
so I think the first book I read about veganism and spirituality was Becoming Light, I believe. I can look at
Okay.
I just recently came across it again. I remember it talked a lot about veganism and spirituality. Um,
Hmm.
and it was a very short book. I really like that one. The No Meat Athlete is great because it's, vegan athletes and they do ultra marathons and I think triathlons too.
Yeah.
And they have also some like training plans. So if like, you just started on this veganism journey and you want to start a 5K or maybe get up to a half or full marathon, they have training plans and they have also diet plans. So that one is pretty great. Um,
Hmm.
Dr. Greger's How Not to Die.
Die.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's an excellent
Uh,
book. Yes.
yeah. And
Yeah.
also Eat to Live by Dr.
Not sure.
It starts with an F. I can't remember his name right now, but that was also
Not
pretty
very
good.
sure.
And I can send you. I can go check because I have them all either next to my bed or next to the couch. 'Cause that
Lovely.
was
Sure.
that
Yeah,
one's
I
really
would
great
love
for
to
diet.
because I would love to make a list of my guests who are actually sharing the list of must read books. And I would like to put it out there for everyone, so it will be
Yeah. Okay,
nice.
I'll send it to
Maybe
you.
people can go. Yeah. So yeah, and coming to one of the most favorite part of this interview, or for me especially, is that to know from my guest 5 things they are blessed about. They really feel grateful, or they feel it's a blessing to them. So I would love to know what is yours.
Um. Okay. I'm definitely can't say grateful and grateful, blessed. I've
Either.
I've been blessed with a pretty supportive husband, not only in veganism but in general. I think whenever I have a goal, he finds a way to support me, and
Mm.
that I think that's just priceless. I'm grateful that I've been able to not only switch to veganism, so like health wise, but also some of the ways that I was raised. I didn't always agree with. I didn't think they were the most gentle, and I've been able to switch that. And I'm grateful for the
Yeah.
books that I've come across and the podcasts that I've come across that help keep me in that
Yeah.
journey.
Mm.
Um, I'm also grateful that even during COVID times, I've been able to keep my job and work from home. I know not everybody
Yeah.
has been able to do that, so I'm definitely
Yeah.
very
It's a
grateful
hard
for
time.
that.
Yeah.
Um, our home, we have a backyard, so especially in COVID times, it really became a big thing
Yeah.
since we were all
Yeah.
locked down. And in general, for my health, and
Yeah.
the typical stuff, running water, food at home.
Yeah. Very basic things. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Wow. Wow. Thank you. I think that these are excellent points, and I'm really grateful for you to share this so authentically. So, I coming to last question, maybe is for me always about is there any regret you have for this journey, or if there is a point where you could have changed or been, maybe you could have done earlier? Is it like a feeling somewhere you feel that you could have done it earlier, or anything that kind of sort, or maybe I would have
Absolutely.
tried?
Yeah, I think if
It
I
is.
had, I mean, okay, so partially, yes, I wish I had done it earlier. Like, I don't see a reason not to for myself. Um, but also, I do acknowledge my own journey, and I feel like it has worked out this way, and this,
Yeah.
and I'm glad it did. Like, I'm glad it all unfolded the way that it did, because I've been supported when I needed to be supported, and I've been able to grow when I needed to grow, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And like the
Absolutely.
times that it happened, it worked out easily. Like, I didn't have to fight my journey.
Yeah.
This, like, it just sort of unfolded easily.
Absolutely. Yeah. Wow. Thank you. I think that's an excellent point. So yeah, I mean, so I think we are good to go. And is there any last words you would like to say to people who are on edge, especially to mothers who would like to try this but still on edge because of yeah, a lot of commitments at home and everything? So what do you have to say for them?
Um, Take it easy. It doesn't have to be a 100% change overnight. I think, especially as mothers during COVID time, we do have more responsibilities and more challenges. So take it easy, make a little change a day, a change per meal, if that's what you want. And if you sometimes, quote unquote, mess up, it's okay. We're human, and
Yeah. Yeah.
it's part of life. Try again tomorrow.
Absolutely.
It's okay.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think that's an excellent point. So, with that, thank you so much, Aisha. I would really like to acknowledge from India altogether. And this is something I was really looking forward to. So, thank you so much once again. You
Thank you.
take
I was
care.
really honored that you
And
asked me.